we got a gentleman today that is phenomenal. You know, you say, welcome everybody who's getting on the call and who was on the call, guys. It's going to be on fire today. So we've had this gentleman on in the past. He's a phenomenal friend. His leadership is impeccable. I mean, he's in Tahoe. He's on calls down on the weekends. He's on calls in the evenings. He does so much for everybody. Rose and I have needed his hand a few times, and here's what's interesting: he is not my upline. He is a sideline to us. But the fact that he would drop anything he's doing to help us whenever we've needed it is phenomenal. You don't find people like this in the world. What he did is not who he is, okay? Because he's not a pro golfer and he's not a professional bartender, but he did do those things. But the leader and the man he's become has just been, I can't say enough about him. And guys, here's what it is you start looking at an individual that lives, breathes, and bleeds leadership. You see it in his family. You see it in his child. You see it in the people he's around, the people he hangs out with. When the co-founder is coming to you and asking you to do something and to do things and lead from a co-founder's perspective, you are on the right path. If he doesn't mentor you guys in any shape or form, guys, I'm telling you, get to Tahoe, get to the Los Angeles area, get on Zoom, get where you got to get to make Dean a part of your life and learn how that leadership can affect you in your business. And we're going to learn from him today. Like I said, I can't say enough about him and his leadership. Proud to call him friend and mentor. And Mr. Tarrolly, it's all yours, sir.
Chris, I'm really tempted to just have you say all that stuff again. Good morning, you guys. Chris, I appreciate all the kind words. Yeah, man, you know, it's a journey when you do this business and you get to meet some really great people and you get to go through all the ups and downs that are really inevitable in anything that we do that has a big reward, a big upside. I think it is unfair to expect that there wouldn't be those big kind of like moments and ups and downs and all that stuff. I mean, it's inevitable. And in fact, if there's big ups and downs that are not present, it might be that what you're doing isn't that impactful. It's not that big of a deal, right? So much of our business is, and certainly from a leadership perspective, is how do we manage these big ups and downs? How do we go through, someone joins your team. It doesn't mean you're going SVP, and someone quits your team. It doesn't mean you're not going SVP, right? Like, it's important to understand that it's all just a part of the process. And, for Chris and Rose, for them to be regional directors and on their way to, regional vice president, you guys, it's so funny because I don't want to get into all the different cliches that can happen when we talk about ACN, but it's, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's how you finish and all those things. A lot of that is true. I mean, it really is rooted in truth. And there's some things that we can do, I think, to shorten the timeline for some of those things that you all want to have happen. So part of where I'm going to start this month is, we're getting ready to come into football season. And I know a lot of people, this is a really fun time of the year for myself as well. And I love coach speak. I think coaches, coaches pour into people and they want to try roll tide roll. I see you, Sam. They try to get the best, make the most out of what they're given in an athlete, a team member, or whatever, maybe even another coach. So it really kind of goes along with what I wanted to talk about today. And I was thinking about like a whole theme for the month. And the fact of the matter is, and I know this is being recorded, you guys, I mean, I've been with you for a long time. mean, I think we're going on 4 years of every other month. We covered a lot of ground. So as I was getting ready to start this month with you guys, and I know Mr. Thomas isn't on today. He is traveling, I believe. We're gonna hold it up while he is he's doing his thing. Here's what I thought about. So Chris, thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to seeing you at the next events, Orlando and in Tahoe. You know, it's really funny that he mentioned, you know, those events. Before I get into what I want to cover with you guys today, as it's going to be pretty, it's going to be, you know, I'm going to do my best to really kind of make it really laser for you guys. I do want you to know that I think that those training events are not even, they're not important. They're not, they are crucial, right? They're not important. They're crucial because ACN and our business works for the overwhelming majority of people. It works to the level of their belief, and people's belief and decisions are made at big events. And part of the reason why I know that Al does this Zoom every day with guest speakers is to pour into you guys and to build and increase your skill set. And you guys, I'm telling you right now, the building from now into Orlando and Orlando into the Tahoe training will change 2024 for you. You guys are going to hear me say it every single call I do. You're going to hear me talk about Orlando into Tahoe. And there's a reason, because they're only 2 weeks apart. So if the idea here is to build our skill set so we can become independent and we can become better at what it is that we do, how people would miss those things is beyond me. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So then what we hear things like, well, you know, the events, there's a lot of events and now we're trying to get back into events. Well, if you have the big picture event of Orlando, and literally 2 weeks later, you have the locker room session of leadership. I want you to think about how impactful and how genius this is. The big picture vision of the company, the grandiose big picture training, the co-founders, the partners, all the carriers, the executive team, all the big promotions, everything there. So now the big vision has been created, right? And now you have people that have come with you to the big. So the belief is through the roof. The belief is through the roof. Okay. Now, that being said, the belief is through the roof. Now they get the basic skill set at the national training in Orlando, but then you get them to an event like Lake Tahoe with Mike Basutti, with the co-founder of the company, Tony Kupas, with the vice president of leadership development, Larry Raskin, in a locker room, sweats, jeans, and t-shirts, role playing, sitting at a table, going through all the stuff that we need to do to take to our marketplace and build a business. Doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't get any better than that. And then I think there's two groups of people. And then I'm going to move on to what I'm going to talk about today. There's the people who find the reason to not do it. Oh, they're too close together. They're this, they're that. Or they're the people who go, man, I'm taking advantage of this. I'm taking advantage of this because this is going to build me into 2024 in the biggest way you can imagine. So I just want you guys to know, I'm prefacing this month by letting you know, I think it's unbelievable timing. And it is going to let us know, like, who is running in 2024. Now, that being said, by the way, does that make sense, everybody? I hope. You guys, I am telling you, we are fired up about it. So if you are taking notes, which I always encourage people to take notes, because if you can take notes, now you have a resource from which to train your team on. You have a resource of information to teach your teams and develop your leaders. Okay, so we're going to have a leadership conversation. And the first part of this leadership conversation is this, and it's really simple, but I think it's so simple that it gets missed. And here goes. You can write it down. How to be the best version of you. how to be the best version of you, not the best version of Al, not the best version of Brian Baker, right? Not the best version of, Jocelyn Driscoll, not the best version of Roxanne Corlejo, some of these leaders that are on the call. It's how to become the best version of you. And there's some pieces to that. So here's what I think it entails. To become the best version of you, there's a process, there is a result, and there is a goal. Okay? There's a process, there's a result, and there is a goal. And here's what's crazy, right? Most people, I think, don't really have, they say it, but they don't really have them. They don't really have long and short-term goals, right? So let's talk about that for a second. You guys, I come on this call every other month, and the idea here is really very singularly focused, and that is on advancing your business, right? We get customers, build teams, promote events. You guys know that. That's simple stuff. We only do 3 things. And what happens is people start majoring in minor things. I want you to major in major things. I want you to major in getting customers, getting really good at it. I want you to major in building teams, getting really good at it. And I want you to major in promoting the events. I'm not going to do a training on those 3 core parts of our business, but I am going to say this in the interest of simplicity. Majoring in acquiring customers is learning how to sign up some of your own services and then asking a handful of people to help you out with a huge favor and try one of your services. Which service? Get good at the services, you guys. Pick a couple of them and really get to know them, how to sign them up, the process involved, right? The first thing I said is there's a process. The second part of building a team, get good at creating curiosity and piquing people's interest. Have an emotional maturity that you don't care what their answer is. Right? And then lastly, get really good at promoting. And promoting events is not a place, and promoting events is not a venue. Promoting event is promoting the people that you're working with. You got to meet him. You got to meet her. If you're not excited about who you're meeting and who you have an opportunity to introduce people to, right? If you don't have that genuine level of enthusiasm and excitement, why in the world would your prospect be excited? Well, what's this all about? No, it's who it's all about. Well, how does this business work? Man, it's about who's in this business. Wait till you meet him. Wait till you meet her. Wait till you meet this lady. Wait till you meet this gentleman. Oh my God. But for some reason, people like to be cool. And I think the reason people like to be cool is they're afraid to put themselves out there. And the reason they're afraid to put themselves out there is they don't want to come across or seem or feel or appear so enthusiastic about something, and somehow it falls short of what the expectation or the promotion was of that person. You guys, that's not going to happen with the leaders that you're working with, right? You're not going to, like I'm telling you, you get good at creating value and them meeting the leader that you're working with. Watch what happens for you. So when I talk about long and short-term goals, we need to dive into this for a minute, right? Because here's the easy thing, right? What's everybody's goal in ACN? SVP, huge residual, time freedom. Let me tell you, I had the opportunity to spend quite a bit of time with Mike Mazer recently. For those of you who don't know Mike Mazer, Mike and Pat, they're always either number 1 or number 2 SVPs in the company, them and Simon. And let me tell you, I understood the lifestyle. It's remarkable. It is remarkable. The lifestyle. I'm not going to go into any details, but for those of you who know me, I'm letting you know I spent quite a bit of time, and I'm telling you, the lifestyle is unbelievable. And you want to talk about a sense of freedom? Not even a sense of it, living a free life, freedom, it's unbelievable. But not for them. Very believable. Very believable, because that is their daily life. Someone that was with us actually said, they're like, you know, is there a point where you're going to stop working? And his response was kind of like, this is work? Meet some people, paint some vision, show them how to, you know, sign up a few customers, have them introduce me to some people but I'm never going to stop doing that. I'll do it from home. I'll do it from wherever I am. I'll do it from the beaches of the world, because sometimes what happens is I think people, they sign up and in the back of their mind, they're, man, I want to do this. And then I don't have to do it. Well, that's not really what we're looking for. We're looking for someone who can implement this into their life. And it literally becomes like part of who they are and what they do. Part-time plan B on the side. So then there has to be some goals that are set. Goals are indicators of progression, right? So, and I know that I'm speaking to a lot of you on this call that maybe the last time I was on, this is August, July. So in June, maybe your point totals haven't changed at all. Maybe your team hasn't grown at all. That's okay. You're not in trouble with me, but let's change that in August. So one of the things I want you guys all to write down is whatever the number of personal customer points you have right now, I want you to write that down. I want you to write that down. And then what I want you to do is I want you to write down the next 2 thresholds of residual. Okay. So if you know the residual income and you know the personal residual, right? Whatever it is, I want you to write down the next 2 point thresholds. And if you're driving, obviously you can't write, but I'm hoping you can remember this. And let's make it a goal to break through those thresholds by the end of this month. And the reason I say 2 thresholds is like some of you might be at like 99 points and you're about to get to 100 points. And just because you get 1 point, okay, congratulations, you broke through a threshold. You should have done it before this call today. So it's 1 point, right? But let's break through a couple thresholds. And now you're at the end of August, like, oh, wow, man, you know what? This worked. This worked. Here's the other thing. Your position. Okay, let's do a short-term goal for your position. If you're an executive team leader, so I want to be crystal clear with all of you. If you are customer qualified or an executive team leader on this Zoom right now, I'm going to set your goal. Your goal needs to be regional coordinator by Orlando. Your goal needs to be a regional coordinator by Orlando. You guys, it's 200 points. The average service is 2 points. That's 100 bills, August, September, and 3/4 of October to get 100 bills. You guys, 100 bills. Everybody can do that. Everybody can do that. If you are a regional coordinator on this call, you already know what the goal is by Orlando. If you're a regional coordinator on this call, what's the goal by Orlando? RD, right? T just said it, and Roxanne just wrote it on the screen, and Christine just typed it. There you go. So you saw it, and you're reading it. So the point is this: if you are a regional coordinator, and I don't even care if you're a brand new regional coordinator, you just clipped over 200 customer points. You guys, you can do 400 customer points in 2.5 months. How people don't think that that's possible is mind-boggling. It's absolutely possible. Right? So short-term goals, if you're an executive team leader by Orlando, it has to be regional coordinator. And if you're a regional coordinator, it has to be regional director. And truthfully, if you're a regional director on this call, my goal for you is, depending on where you are right now on your regional director to RVP run, is that you personally start 2 brand new teams. Because if you personally start brand new teams that are personally sponsored to you, and you do the right things with those teams, do not be surprised. Do not be surprised if you do a couple things that we're going to cover this month. Do not be surprised if you have people that are on the verge of going regional director in the next 2.5 months in those 2 new legs. Is it going to take work? You better believe it. Better believe it. You know, I had a great conversation. We were on the phone for a while, and I'm not going to go into any detail. She can share with you when she wants to, you know, at the appropriate time, what she's doing. But, you know, one of our great leaders, Roxanne, she's on this call. She's all in. And this was a serious conversation. This was a quality of life altering conversation with some decisions that she has made. And it's significant. And, you know, we say like big decisions are made at big events. Well, sometimes some of those big events are happening between your ears. It's like, you know what, enough's enough. I've been in the same position. I cannot look at the same letters next to my name in terms of my ACN business for another 6 months. I cannot look at being an ETL for another. I cannot look at regional director. I have to break through. Now, are all those positions great? Those positions are great. But you guys understand that you don't want to stay in the 3rd grade for 5 years. Your classmates are now getting ready to go into high school. They're in 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. They're ready to go into high school, and you're still hanging out with the 3rd graders. You're getting ready to get your driver's license, and you're hanging out with the 3rd graders. That's crazy. You need to progress and make a decision to progress. So these short-term goals are important, and they're very direct. The next two percentage thresholds, let's break through them. And whatever your next position is that you're going to, let's get that thing wrapped up so you are walking the stage in Orlando and you are proof for the people in your team, your family, your friends, the people that have passed that are watching you, and you put that up on social media. Like, watch. You guys, it's always scary to me when people are like, man, you got to understand, I'm in this thing for the long term. Like, you know, when I hear that, I got to be like totally transparent. When I hear that, one of the instant thoughts that I have is they're not going to last. They're not going to last. Right? They're not going to last. And why do I say that? Not because I don't want you to have long-term goals. I absolutely want you to have long-term goals. But you know how you hit a long-term goal? Yeah, you hit all the short-term goals on the way. Or you hit 7 out of 10 of them. You have 10 short-term goals and you hit 7. You are on your way. You are on your way. It's okay, Emery. Glad you're on. So here's an important part. What processes are you implementing to achieve those long and short-term goals? Right? Because we talked about there's a process, there's a result, and there's the goal, right? There's a process, getting customers, building teams, promoting events, getting good at those things. There's a result, and you have to be diligent and disciplined in evaluating your results. So listen to what I'm saying. You have to be disciplined in evaluating your results. Are you getting the results that you want? And if you are not, we got to alter. We got to change some stuff. And you know what's so great? You guys, a lot of times the changing and the altering, it's just a tweak. It's a tweak. It's a little thing. It's a little something that needs to be changed, altered, adjusted. A little thing, not a big thing. And that one little adjustment could make all the difference. So there's a process, there's a result, and then the goal. So you have to see, is the result taking you closer to your goal? And if the result is not taking you closer to your goal, you have to go back and you have to evaluate and look at the process. You have to go back and take a look at some of the language that you're using and do that with the leader that you're working with. Right? You need to be a good evaluator of your results so you can adjust your activities. Be a good evaluator of your results so you can adjust your activities to get you to the goal that you set out to get. Is this making sense, you guys? All right, cool. So what processes, what things are you implementing to achieve the long and short-term goals? So here's a few of them to write down before we wrap up. Number one is phase one. And phase one is like, to me, phase one is the Alka-Seltzer Cold Plus of every issue. Not enough momentum, not enough activity, phase one. Need more personal customers, phase one, right? Want a bigger residual, want to make more bonuses, phase one. Phase one, personally peaking, personally recruiting, personally inviting, personally creating curiosity. Putting yourself in a position where you have the best chance to create phase one activity. In other words, get out of the house, right? Like, there's a whole world of people out there that have been cooped up for 2.5 years that are now out and about. Another process to achieve the long and short-term goals, which we covered, is your personal customer numbers. Here's another one, promoting people on your team, helping. Now, look, don't manufacture a promotion. Identify someone that wants to get promoted. You take some time to identify some people. How do you identify and get someone to get into that position of wanting to be promoted? How do you do that? You got to cast some vision. You got to cast some vision with some people about what we can do together, right? Your marketplace that you live, the marketplace that you live in. What's it like there? Are there any established leaders? Do you guys have a meeting in that marketplace? If the answer is yes, great. You have a meeting to plug into. If the answer is no, great. You get to run and own the marketplace. It is a win-win. You can't lose. Are you good at creating and casting that vision? Are you good about talking about impact health sharing? You guys, let me tell you, in terms of vision, this impact health sharing is the biggest thing. Like, as I'm learning more and more and more, and certainly hearing the stories from Mike Mazer and some of the other leaders, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So I want you to think about this. We have two of the largest industries on the planet. We have energy and we have healthcare. And oh, by the way, all the other great stuff. If you could get a piece of energy billing and you could get a piece of healthcare billing, and that could be returned to you in the form of residual income from people flipping on a light switch or covering and lowering the cost of taking care of their families, would that be of interest to you? I don't know who would say no to that. But what posture and what language are you communicating that with people? That's an important part, you guys. So phase one, personal customers, promoting positions. How many people are you getting promoted to positions in the company? How many people are you promoting to executive team leader? How many people are you promoting to regional coordinator? And remember, you guys, this is not about you manufacturing somebody to that position. It's about you finding and identifying and working with someone and helping them get to that position and earn that position. And how good are you at identifying leaders? They're the ones who reach out to you. I'll bring up Roxanne again. She reaches out to me all the time. I'm going here, I'm going there. Are you available for this? Can you help me with that? Are you available for a call for this? She's not saying, Dean, can you help me sign up a flash customer? She knows how to do that. She's talking about business building. I mean, I would be there for that for her anyway, but she doesn't need to do that because she's done it. So when you're talking about identifying leaders, folks, identifying leaders or potential leaders is it's easy. I think it's easy. Now, do we get tricked? Sometimes we do. But someone who reaches out to you more than you reach out to them. Like, if you feel like you have to call and go motivate people a lot of times, I'm not trying to motivate people. I'm trying to find motivated people. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. How do you do that? 3 most important words in ACN: lead by example. Your team watches you start a brand new group, a brand new organization, and you're starting to promote people in that brand new group. Watch what happens. But none of this really takes place and takes hold until you get really good at being able to look at your business, look at it honestly and truthfully, evaluate where you are, evaluate your activities and your results, and are they taking you closer to the goal that you have set up? Well, I think we just set up in a less than 30 minutes here, we set up for everybody goals for people to hit before October. Are you guys all in with that? Yes or no? If you're saying yes, follow through. If you're saying yes, follow through. Follow through, because how you're going to feel about yourself and the decision that you made to follow through on this. And to wrap everything up, you guys, it is football season, so I'm going to show you something. So let me bring this up. It's one of my favorites.
I think there's some lessons to be learned today. I think when you're not mentally ready to play a game, I don't really care who you're playing, and that may be hard for some people to understand. The concept of competition, that you really go out there to play to be the best player that you can be. You don't look for some external factor like who you're playing against, to motivate you, because it's really not about winning or losing. It's really about trying to be the best player.
Do you guys know why he says that? Because I want you to think about this for a second. I'm going to play it one more time, and I want you to think about this. If you become the best player that you can be doing those 3 basic things that we do, if you become the best player, do you guys agree your results are coming? Yes or no? Would you guys agree with that? Yes or no? If you become the best player in ACN that you can become, are your results coming? I would tell you, I think your results are inevitable. That's the kind of talent that I believe is on this call. So if you do those things, the results are coming. Now listen to it.
I think there's some lessons to be learned today. I think when you're not mentally ready to play a game, I don't really care who you're playing, and that may be hard for some people to understand. The concept of competition, that you really go out there to play to be the best player that you can be. You don't look for some external factor like who you're playing against, to motivate you, because it's really not about winning or losing. It's really about trying to be the best player.
So if you become the best player you can be, watch what happens for your results. Become the best that you can be at acquiring customers, at building teams, at promoting the events, at evaluating your results, altering and making some changes, working with the leader that's clearly committed to working with you, and watch what happens. Do you know that the biggest leaders do that all the time? Roxanne and I talk about this. Other regional directors on my team, we talk about this. What's working, what's not working, right? And another thing that they do is they take responsibility. They take responsibility. There's no passing the buck. He did this, she did that. That's why I'm not. No. This was on me. And by the way, it's super rewarding to do that, because now it's not up to somebody else. Does that make sense, everybody? I just thought that this was a really important place to start the month, is to give you guys a very clear vision and a very clear game plan on what I think is going to build people's businesses. Right? You have to be able to look at your process, evaluate it, see what's working and what's not working, and is it taking you closer to your goal? And if you have events to build into, let the events do the work for you. And you guys, I'm not kidding. The big event in Orlando to get the vision, leading right into a leadership training in Tahoe, opportunity is inconvenient. Opportunity is inconvenient, but let me tell you guys something. That is the difference between the people that are doing it and the people that are watching people do it, in my opinion. Right? The reward is so big, they don't see the obstacle. Many people think the obstacle is too big, they can't get to the reward. And I hope you fall into the first category, that your vision and your goal is big enough that that you will work in, through, and around any obstacles that come up personally, professionally, and any of those things to see your vision through an ACN. So that is what I wanted to share with you guys today to start off the month. I hope that that was helpful. I hope you guys got something from this. Hope that you were able to maybe we set a couple things. Hopefully we set a couple things in motion for you guys to accomplish this month, to get the ball rolling in the direction that that we and that you wanted to go to get you what you want out of ACN. Do not, you guys, I'm going to tell you right now, do not let this month go by with the same number of customer points, the same size of your team by the time we get to the 31st of August. Otherwise, I will have failed you. That is not the goal here. That is not the goal here. The goal here is to take your position where you're at right now and to advance your business. And that's what we want to do. So I appreciate that, Marvetta. I appreciate being on with you guys. For those of you in Southern California, we have our briefing tonight in Sherman Oaks, and I know there's people represented all around the country. But just a reminder of that. If you have people out here, you guys know all of our meetings are open to everyone and for everyone. So you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for the opportunity to be with you. Chris, thanks for hosting again. And we will talk to you soon. Have a good one, you guys.